The Star Wars universe is without a doubt the most comprehensive and compact piece of fiction to ever exist. There are thousands of fan theories, Easter eggs in the movies, and alternative takes on the galaxy far away. So today we brought you a detailed insight into the Sith assassin and the powers of the Sith Dagger. Sit back and enjoy. First up, Ochi was a dark side devotee for decades. Ochi of Bestoon was a longtime follower of the dark side. He killed Rey's parents with the Rise of Skywalker's Sith Dagger. The assassin who killed Rey's parents is a minor character in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. However, the Sith hitman has been around for most of the Skywalker saga and is now a well-known figure. Since Ochi of Bestoon was added to the Star Wars universe in 2019, his story about when the Empire was in charge has become more detailed. This is especially true of the comics, which have shown Ochi's past and how he has affected the overall story of the franchise. The novel Brotherhood shows that the Sith assassin worked for Emperor Palpatine for many years before he died in the quiet sands of Pasaana, where Rey finds his skull. This happened during the Clone Wars. Ochi spent years looking for Sith artifacts and Jedi. When the Jedi were defeated, Darth Sidious gave him a new job to test Darth Vader's faith in the dark side. This shows that Ochi was a lot older than was first thought. Also, since Ochi helped Palpatine look for Rey after he came back to life, he was a key figure in Star Wars canon, even though he didn't show up much in the Skywalker saga. Moving on, Ochi of Bestoon's history is still mostly unknown. How Ochi came to work for the Sith and how he became such an excellent killer are still mysteries. Even though he was born on Bestoon during the Republic, no one knows what kind of creature he is or how old he is. But Ochi has worked for the Sith for a long time. This has led to the idea that he is the same species as Maz Kanata, since they both look the same and live a long time. Let's look at how Ochi of Bestoon ended up working for Palpatine and Vader. Ochi gradually became a member of the Assassin's Guild and a hunter of Sith Arcana. He was a disciple of the dark side. During the Clone Wars, when Ochi was working directly for Palpatine, he tried to kill Jedi, including Mace Windu's apprentice, Depa Billaba. However, Windu stopped him and saved Billaba's life. In the Darth Vader comics from Marvel, the Emperor gave Ochi the job of hunting down Darth Vader to see how much he loves the dark side. After each one beats the other, they make an uneasy deal to work together. Vader confronts Sidious on the Sith Citadel at Exegol about what he thinks is a betrayal, but he gives in to his master when he realizes he can't beat someone with that much power. Then Ochi goes to work for Vader as the Empire looks for the Crimson Dawn crime group. After meeting Kira, Ochi plays both sides, switching sides depending on how the power swings in the Star Wars underground. In Return of the Jedi, his relationship with Vader and the Empire gets worse before the Sith Lord dies. Still, during the time of the New Republic, Ochi goes back to work for Palpatine and kills Rey's parents, and tries to kill Rey with the same dagger she finds on his body in The Rise of Skywalker. Ochi would die on that planet while trying to get away from Luke Skywalker. This was the end of his long life. Next up, how powerful was the Sith Dagger really? In The Rise of Skywalker, an old Sith dagger led Rey to Palpatine's Wayfinder. Its powers will indeed surprise you. In Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the old Sith dagger may be more powerful than anyone thought. In The Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine's sudden return made Rey have to follow in Luke Skywalker's footsteps and go after the long-dead Sith assassin, Ochi of Bestoon. She could only find him because she found an ancient Sith dagger that had been reforged to lead to Palpatine's Wayfinder in the ruins of the second Death Star. In reality, that Sith dagger was just a way for Rey and her friends to get from point A to point B. Since then, though, official tie-ins have been giving The Rise of Skywalker more depth by giving more information about the characters' pasts and trying to explain how the ideas introduced at the end of the sequel trilogy fit into the overall story of the saga. In Shadow of the Sith, Adam Christopher went back in time to tell the story of Luke Skywalker's own search for Ochi of Bestoon. This helped show how dangerous that Sith dagger really was. But it looks like that was just a hint. The dagger's full potential is only becoming clear slowly. Next, the Sith dagger possessed a dangerous hunger for blood. In the book Into the Dark by Claudia Gray, there are three main types of Force relics. Some hold the memories or even personalities of Force users, some make it easier to use the Force, and some make it harder or even make it impossible to use the Force. These groups aren't the only ones, of course. This is especially true of Sith relics, which often carry the evil of a Sith Lord even if they were made for a different purpose. The Sith dagger in Star Wars The Rise Rise of Skywalker, finally made sense after Adam Christopher's Shadow of the Sith, which proved the blade was an old Sith relic that the Sith Eternal had used for something else. Its serrated edges were bright, like they had just been machined, which meant that they had just been cut to match the shape of the second Death Star and lead to Palpatine's Wayfinder. It didn't take long for Ochi of Bestoon to figure out that this wasn't just a weapon, though. The Sith Dagger had a lasting taint that made it thirst for blood and want to kill, and Ochi fell under its control after he used it to kill someone. Rey has the power of psychometry, which let her know about an object's history when she touches it. If that's the case, it's not surprising that she was so scared when she touched the Sith Dagger, and she would have felt the dark side's influence on her. In addition, the Rise of Skywalker's Sith Dagger could be even more dangerous. Path of Deceit by Justina Ireland may have shown more about the Sith Dagger's history and what it can really do. It takes place 350 years before Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace, and shows a Sith Dagger that drains the Force from Jedi. This was found in the ruins of the Sith homeworld Moraband. It was used in ceremonies or given to Sith assassins so they could kill their enemies. The dark side power in this dagger is probably Force Drain, which Palpatine used against Rey and Kylo Ren when he stole their Force Dyad's power. In Chuck Wendig's Aftermath trilogy, which came out in 2015, this power was set up in the Disney canon. In one scene, Yupe Tashu, a follower of Palpatine, tortured Wedge Antilles while singing about the power of the Sith. The force of Palpatine drain seems to be a way to make something live longer, which is why the Emperor would have learned it. He was obsessed with beating death, and this would have given him a way to delay his own death while he looked for a more permanent solution on Exegol. It's possible that this is the same Sith dagger that Rey found in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. After all, blood is a universal sign of life, so a Sith dagger could have been draining life from its victims. Lastly, the dagger might strip Force as well. It was never used against someone who could feel the Force in the sequel era, but it could have done that as well. Ochi of Bestoon wasn't sensitive to the Force, so he wouldn't have known what the real purpose of the dagger was. Rey may have read old Jedi texts, but she's only been a Jedi for a short time, so there's no reason she should be able to tell what the Sith dagger's dark side powers are. The Sith doesn't like to waste things. It's possible that this dagger had another use. A Sith Lord might have been able to use their will to control the dagger and pull the life energy and Force power it had absorbed into themselves. That would explain why Palpatine, who was so obsessed with beating death, got it. He would have seen it as valuable, something he could use to keep himself alive. He may have given Ochi of Bestoon the Sith dagger in case his assassin ran into Luke Skywalker, hoping vaguely that it would be used against the son of the Chosen One. Luke could have been drained to the Force, and the Emperor would have gotten more power from this. Things didn't go as planned, though. Ochi died, and the Sith dagger wasn't found again until Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Rey never used it because she was only interested in the Wayfinder. Its taint never changed her because she never used it. That's a wrap for this video. What was your reaction to our insight on the Sith assassin and the Sith dagger? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.